Greetings, 7th grade. Let's get started on our one-point perspective tutorial, how to draw a sidewalk. First thing you're going to want to do is gather your materials. Pencil, drafting tape, eraser, T-square. First thing to do is to square up your paper, as always. If your paper is not properly squared up, all of your lines will be subsequently crooked. In order to square it up, you're going to hold your T-square horizontally at the edge of the paper, at the edge of the table, very close to your body. Then you're simply going to take your paper and slide it down to meet the T-square. Secure it with drafting tape in the four corners. As you remember, drafting tape will not damage your drawing. Next step is to give yourself a horizon. You can use a ruler to determine the center of the paper. 5.5 inches for this paper, making a dot. Now, because I'm using a T-square, my line will be perfectly level. Using the T-square again, we'll find the center of the paper to create the vanishing point. Now we're going to connect the corner of the page to the vanishing point. This is going to be our first lines for the sidewalk. We're going to repeat that on both sides, the corner of the paper to the center vanishing point. In perspective, things that are closer to you are larger and things that are further away are smaller. The sidewalk at the bottom is going to appear larger. I'm going to measure 3 inches over on either side so it's even. You can create your own measurement for your sidewalk, and if it's even on both sides, it will look symmetrical and neat and realistic. Again, I'm going to take my T-square, I'm going to put it on the vanishing point, and now I'm simply going to rotate it to that dot. I'm drawing dark so you could see it, but certainly you could draw light until you've gotten it right. Again, pencil on that vanishing point, connecting the dot. Now it's time to make our sidewalk planks. Again, in perspective, things are larger when they're closer to you. A great strategy for making the sidewalk blocks is to give yourself dots of measurements, increments. I like to use my fingers. And then each time I measure, I just squeeze my fingers together a little bit tighter. I'm making dots on one side because I'm going to be connecting them on both. Sidewalk lines are going to be horizontal. This is often difficult at first to understand, but once on paper, it visually makes sense. I'm taking my T-square, firmly hooked on the side of my desk, sliding it until I reach a dot. When I reach the dot, I'm drawing a horizontal line between the two other lines that I've created for the sidewalk. Because they're the same measurements on both sides, the drawing is going to be more realistic. Next step is to give the sidewalk a curve. This is the way things appear. When you walk on a sidewalk, you have to step up to it. So we're going to add a curve. We're going to make a third line going to the vanishing point. This third line is going to be much more narrow than our original line. About 1 centimeter over from the center. I'm going to use my T-square, firmly placed on my vanishing point, and drawing up to the vanishing point. I'm going to repeat the same process on both sides. And again, if the measurements are the same on both sides, the drawing will just appear more accurate. The next step is to give the sidewalk a thickness. We're going to add vertical lines. And again, this is something that seems strange, but when it's on the paper, it looks realistic. You're going to slide your T-square over until you've met one of the sidewalk segments and then firmly draw a vertical line. Repeat it on both sides. Now what we've done is we've taken a one-dimensional line start, moved it into a two-dimensional drawing, and now we've created a 3D rendering of a sidewalk.